Manmohan Singh, India's 13th Prime Minister, was a special leader. He was a famous economist who became a politician. His life story is full of amazing achievements and quiet strength. He helped India through tough economic times and led a complicated government. Singh's work shaped modern India. He didn't want power, he wanted to serve his country. For 10 years as Prime Minister, India became a stronger world power. But there were hard times too, especially in his second term, when some people said his government was corrupt. Even so, Singh was always respected for being honest and believing in India. This video looks at Manmohan Singh's life, from being a student to changing India's economy and becoming the unexpected Prime Minister. Manmohan Singh was a great student, but his early life was also hard because of partition. He was born in 1932 in Gah, which is now in Pakistan. His childhood was filled with the culture of Punjab before partition. But then, when India became independent in 1947, there was a lot of violence, and many people had to leave their homes. Singh's family was one of them. They had to find a new home in India. Even with all that change, Singh was a great student. He studied economics at Punjab University, Cambridge, and Oxford. He became a well-known expert. The experience of partition changed Singh. He cared about people who were treated unfairly, and he wanted to make things better for everyone. When Manmohan Singh came back to India, he started an important career in economics. He worked at universities, research places, and for the government, becoming more important over time. People wanted his advice. He was known for being smart, good at understanding problems, and knowing a lot about how money works for countries. Early in his career, Singh was serious about his work and wanted to solve India's money problems. He worked for the Ministry of Foreign Trade and later as the Chief Economic Advisor in the Ministry of Finance. Singh's work in these jobs helped shape India's plans for its economy. He thought India should be more open to trading and investing with other countries, so it could become part of the world economy. In 1991, India faced a severe economic crisis that shook the nation to its core. The country was on the brink of financial collapse, with its foreign exchange reserves dwindling to dangerously low levels. The government was struggling to pay for essential imports like oil, and the situation was dire. The country almost ran out of money, and something needed to change quickly to avoid a complete economic meltdown. In this critical moment, Prime Minister P.V. Narasimha Rao made a bold decision. He asked Manmohan Singh, a respected economist and former governor of the Reserve Bank of India, to take on the role of finance minister. Singh accepted the challenge with determination and a clear vision for the future. He knew that drastic measures were needed to pull India out of this crisis. As finance minister, Singh introduced a series of sweeping economic reforms that would change the course of India's history. He made big changes to India's economy, focusing on liberalization, privatization, and globalization. These changes, collectively known as liberalization, marked a significant shift from the previous protectionist policies. The reforms aimed to open up the Indian economy to the global market, encouraging competition and investment. One of Singh's most notable actions was the dismantling of the license Raj, a complex system of licenses and regulations that stifled business growth. By removing these barriers, he made it easier for businesses to start and expand. Singh also focused on attracting foreign investment. He made it easier for other countries to invest in India, which brought in much-needed capital and helped Indian businesses become more competitive on the global stage. However, not everyone was in favor of these changes. The reforms faced significant opposition from various quarters, including political parties, labor unions, and sections of the public. Critics argued that the reforms would lead to job losses and increase economic inequality, with the rich getting richer while the poor suffered. There were widespread protests and debates about the potential negative impacts of liberalization. Despite the opposition, Singh remained steadfast in his belief that these changes were essential for India's long-term economic growth. He was confident that the reforms would ultimately lead to a stronger, more resilient economy, capable of competing on the global stage. In 2004, something surprising happened. Manmohan Singh became India's first Sikh Prime Minister. The Congress Party and its partners won the election, and Sonia Gandhi, the leader of the Congress Party, chose Singh to be Prime Minister. Many people were surprised, even Singh. He liked working quietly and didn't want to be famous. Even though he wasn't sure at first, Singh accepted the job. He was Prime Minister for 2 terms. During this time, India's economy grew a lot. There were new programs to help people, and India became more important in the world. Singh was a quiet leader. He wanted everyone to work together, and he focused on making sure everyone in India benefited from the growing economy. During Manmohan Singh's 10 years as Prime Minister, India made a lot of progress. His leadership was marked by significant economic growth and social development. The economy grew quickly and many people were no longer poor. The stock market saw unprecedented growth, and consumer confidence was at an all-time high. Singh's government started programs to help people who needed it most. These initiatives aimed to uplift the underprivileged and provide them with opportunities for a better life. One important program was the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. This act was a game changer for rural employment. This program gave people in villages 100 days of work each year. It helped many people. It not only provided financial stability, but also improved infrastructure in rural areas. The National Rural Health Mission made hospitals and healthcare better in villages. Access to quality healthcare became a reality for many who had never experienced it before. Education also became better, with more money for schools. Investments in education led to improved facilities and better trained teachers, ensuring a brighter future for the younger generation. Singh also worked with other countries, making India's relationships with important countries stronger. His diplomatic efforts were crucial in positioning India as a key player on the global stage. The India-US Civil Nuclear Agreement was a big deal. It opened doors for international collaboration in nuclear energy, which was a significant milestone for India. It meant other countries could work with India on nuclear power. This collaboration was essential for India's energy security and technological advancement. This showed how good Singh was at working with other countries, and how he wanted India to be an important country in the world. His vision and efforts were instrumental in elevating India's status on the global platform. Manmohan Singh's second term as Prime Minister had problems. Despite his previous successes, his second term was marred by numerous challenges that tested his leadership and the resilience of his government. There were stories about corruption in his government. These stories dominated the news, creating a cloud of suspicion and doubt over the administration's integrity. People said that some officials weren't honest about how they gave out natural resources like coal and permission to use radio waves for cell phones. The allocation of these resources was seen as unfair and biased, leading to widespread public outcry. This hurt the government's good work. The achievements of Singh's administration were overshadowed by these allegations, making it difficult for the government to maintain its credibility. The 2G spectrum scam, which was about selling the right to use radio waves, became a big problem. It was one of the largest scandals in Indian history, involving huge financial losses and high-profile arrests. People said some officials gave special favors to their friends and that the government lost money. The favoritism and financial mismanagement led to a significant loss of public funds, further eroding trust in the government. These problems made people trust the government less. The public's faith in the administration dwindled as more details of the corruption emerged, leading to widespread disillusionment. Other political parties said Singh's government wasn't doing enough to stop corruption. The opposition seized the opportunity to criticize the government, accusing it of being ineffective and complacent in tackling corruption. Singh himself wasn't blamed, but people didn't like that he didn't talk about the problems or stop the corruption in his government. His silence and perceived inaction were seen as a lack of leadership, further damaging his image. This was a hard time for Singh. The pressure and criticism took a toll on him, both personally and professionally, as he struggled to navigate through the crisis. He was known for being honest, but these problems hurt his reputation. Despite his personal integrity, the scandals and controversies of his second term left a lasting impact on his legacy. Even though he was Prime Minister, Manmohan Singh lived a simple life. He didn't want to live like a fancy, important person, even though he lived in the Prime Minister's house. Everyone agreed Singh was an honest person, and people respected him for wanting to help the country. After he stopped being Prime Minister in 2014, Singh didn't want to be in the news. But he still gave advice about the economy and important issues, sometimes by giving speeches or writing articles. Manmohan Singh did a lot of different things for India. He changed India's economy. He was Prime Minister when India grew a lot, and he made India more important in the world. He clearly helped India's economy and helped people. The changes he made as Finance Minister helped India become a powerful country. But he also had problems during his second term as Prime Minister. The corruption scandals hurt his reputation and made people question his leadership. Even with those problems, Manmohan Singh is an important part of India's history. He will be remembered as an honest and smart leader who wanted to serve the public. His life is inspiring, especially for people who believe in good ideas, honest leaders, and India's potential to be a great country.